Hello everyone, welcome to chemistry, and today we're going to look at measurements. So in chemistry there are certain measurements that we usually look at which are important when you are calculating number of moles, when you are doing titration in the laboratory, or when you are trying to find the mass of a given substance. So those measurements that we look at in chemistry are, so focus on time, mass, temperature, and the volume. So time is important when you're looking at how fast chemical reactions do occur. The mass is really important when you're calculating the mass of a given substance. The temperature is also important because certain chemical reactions they occur at a certain temperature. And volume is also important when you're looking at calculations that involve volume in the laboratory, or we're looking at solutions or volumes. So the first thing that we're going to start with is time, then you go to mass, temperature, then look at the last thing that we're going to look at is volume. So we're going to look at time. So in chemistry, time, we measure it in seconds, or the SI unit for time is a second. So the SI unit is a second. But there are other units like minutes, hours, or weeks, which they usually use. But the SI unit, which is the standardized unit, is the second. So we measure time using a stopwatch, or can use a stopcock. Okay. So you need to know the SI unit for time, and you also need to know what do you use to measure time. So we use the stopwatch or a stopcock. So we say time is measured in seconds, and in a minute there are 60 seconds. So in 1 minute we have about 60 seconds. So most questions that will be asked in chemistry, especially under the rest of chemical reactions, you'll be given time in minutes, which you have to convert in seconds. Okay, so after looking at time, we're going to look at the mass. For mass, what are we supposed to know for mass in chemistry is how do we measure mass? So to measure mass, we use a beam balance, or can use an electronic balance. So in most chemist labs, we usually use the electronic balance, so they're the ones that are usually provided. And mass, the SI unit for mass is the kilogram. It's called the kg. But in chemistry, the SI unit is this, but in chemistry we usually use the gram because the quantity of substance that we usually use is really small. So in most cases we usually grams. The 1 kg is equal to 1000 grams. So the questions that you'll be given the mass in grams, and you'll be told to find the answer in kgs. It means that you have to change from the grams to kilograms. So mass, we measure mass using a beam balance or an electronic balance. And the SI unit for mass is the kilogram. And in 1 kilogram there are 1000 grams. And in chemistry we usually use grams as a unit because we deal with small quantities. And most questions that will be given, they will be in grams. You can be asked to find the answer in kilograms, which you have to convert from grams to kilograms, because we know that in 1 kilogram there are 1000 grams. The next one after mass we're going to look at is the temperature. So temperature, what you need to know is how do you measure temperature. So you measure temperature using a thermometer. So in chemistry we usually use a mercury thermometer to measure the temperature. So we use the mercury thermometer to measure temperature. But temperature can also be measured using a clinical thermometer. So a clinical thermometer, those are thermometers that are found in hospitals. But in a chemistry lab, we usually use a mercury thermometer. The SI unit for temperature is the Kelvin with a symbol, capital letter K. But these thermometers, they are marked in degrees Celsius. So in chemistry, all the thermometers that we're going to use, they'll be marked in degrees Celsius, and most of the answers that you're required to give will be in degrees Celsius. But unless otherwise, where you're asked to change to Kelvin, by such questions are not usually asked in chemistry, because all the thermometers that will be given are marked in degrees Celsius. So there are two types of thermometers. There's a mercury thermometer and a clinical thermometer. Okay, after looking at temperature, mass, and time, we're going to look at volume. So we can have a volume of a solution and volume of a gas. Now in chemistry, it's very, very important to measure volume. So we're going to start with a solution. How do you measure the volume of a solution? So to measure the volume of a solution, we use certain apparatus. We have a beaker. The beaker is important because we use it to estimate the amount of a solution. Beaker, we have also a measuring cylinder. A measuring cylinder is also used to estimate the amount of a solution. The beaker we use to estimate, and also measuring cylinder we use to estimate, but the measuring cylinder is more accurate than a beaker. Then you have got a burette. A burette is the most important apparatus that we can use to measure the volume of a solution, because for a burette it measures the most accurate. So a burette is the most accurate volume up to plus or minus 0.1. A measuring cylinder, we have said it is used to estimate a volume. Even this one, to estimate a volume. A measuring cylinder is more accurate than a beaker, but the one that is the most accurate is a burette. So a burette is the most accurate because we can measure volumes like 25.1, 24.9, 0.1, we use a burette. So if you want to measure the most accurate volume, we usually use a burette. If you want to estimate the volume accurately, we use a measuring cylinder. And if you want to just estimate the volume, we usually use a beaker. Okay, so another apparatus that we use to measure volume is called a pipette. So the pipette is used to measure a fixed volume accurately. So this is how a pipette looks like. So if you want to measure a fixed volume accurately, we usually use a pipette. So volumes like 25 centimeter cubed, 20 centimeter cubed, and 15 centimeter cubed, we usually use a pipette, because these are fixed volume, and if you want to measure them most accurately, we usually use a pipette. But volumes that have got decimals, or volumes that are plus or minus 0.1, like 25.1, 20.9, 15.2, we cannot use a pipette because these are not fixed volume. So for fixed volume, we usually use a pipette. So we have seen what we can use to measure the volume of a solution. Now, how can we measure the volume of a gas? So for a gas, we usually use a gas syringe. And we all know what is a gas syringe is because we have seen it in hospitals. So we usually use a gas syringe to measure the volume of a gas. So the volume of a gas, if we want to measure it, we use a gas syringe. So we know how this gas syringe is. A gas syringe, in simple terms, can be like this. So that's the one that we use to measure the volume of a gas. But we have said that for volume of a solution, we have seen that we can use pipette. For fixed volume accurately, we can use a burette.